Hey there, how are you doing? This is Keith, and I am a 56-year-old raw vegan. I am a spirit and a human body that is into pushing the potential of everything that is possible. As a spirit and a human body, I am a raw vegan. I'm interested in spirituality, and this is a Christmas message. I'm in Big Bear now at my parents' house. That's Big Bear Lake behind me, and it snowed the last couple days and last night, and it's beautiful, and I have a lot of happiness about what's going on. And if you've seen my videos, you know that it's been spooky emotionally for me. It's like something I've really stepped into as a Pisces moon person, and in general a very sensitive person, which has taken me to a lot of different places in my life. But I'm going to back up, and I'm going to start a little bit from a place to start, which is that it's December 25th, 1919, and we're starting into a new decade. And we are like way in the future. We live in a place where you can pay your bills by calling the phone and talking to a machine and going yes, no, yes, 693428733, and it knows what you're doing, and you can talk to nobody, and you can do whatever. And amazing things are coming around, and we're adapting, and it's the total future. And you can choose to lose yourself in that, or you can use that as a tool. And that's where we're at. And it's like, wow. So also at this time, in the last 5 or 6 years, about 2013, 2014, I've always to a degree been interested in the biggerness, the things that we don't know about, the things that science doesn't give much validation to, but they're obvious if you just look. And that would be astrology I'm talking about. So we're in a complete era of uniqueness with that, which is we have a stellium with 4 heavenly bodies in Capricorn, which is happened in 91 to 93 or 90 to 93, I think. And Capricorn's about what's real, and it's associated with Saturn, and Saturn's also in there in that stellium. Stellium means that there's 4, did I say that? 4 heavenly bodies in one sign. So we have Jupiter, we have Saturn, we have Pluto, and we have South Node of the Moon. And that's really all about what's real coming into a big focus. And also we have Uranus in Taurus, which is really about security and stuff like that. And so it's an easy call to just look around if you're slightly interested and know that everything's changing. Everything's changing. There's such a division of people that like completely hate society, hate technology. People that are like, I mentioned in my other one, I put like just this thing on Facebook that's political, and I put all this amazing spiritual stuff on there. Not that I'm looking for validity, but I know there's a ton of people that just look on there and they don't like or do anything, and they're interested in me or somebody, and they don't want people knowing their business, but they're inspired by stuff. So I just felt excited about going. I'm 56. I'm really interested in just staying young-minded, very childlike still. All of this started, I wasn't so much aware of all my times of when I was under 5 and I was super clairvoyant and scared the shit out of my parents with all my visionary stuff, and then it just left me. And then when I was 14, I found the rock band Yes, and they were super mystical, and I became vegetarian, and I became interested in spiritual books from all of their work, with firstly Autobiography of a Yogi from Tales from Topographic Oceans, and then found out about Siddhartha from Close to the Edge. and that the band was vegetarian. And then I just went off on my own trip. I was kind of a bullied little kid, and it was really great for me because I was just in my own world all the time. And I stayed in that mode, and the whole world was interesting to me all the time. And it was the beginning of me being vegetarian and being into like health food and following cool people at that time and just getting straight into spirituality. And it's been a theme in my life, and just getting into music and, you know, more spirituality. And so my music always had that spiritual theme, like yes, and then eventually I got into some other stuff that was spiritual. I think Peter Murphy's Love Hysteria was a big one for me because it was so in-your-face spiritual. And you know, and then other things were just like coming along. And Coil, yeah, I was like, who else am I trying to think of? Is Coil. Super spiritual, super into Crowley, and I was, you know, into the New Age, and I'd wound up finding myself into magic and just everything that was just the mystical, the majesty, the beauty of nature. I love nature all the time. I used to go out by myself all the time in nature and hike and go on camping trips with my parents and just be a loner kid, and it's still where I'm at. I have a lot of friends, but a big thing happened to me when I was smoking a shitload of pot and putting out some great records in the 90s. I went through a couple of disastrous relationships with some people I love, but I just couldn't relate to them because I probably couldn't truly relate to myself, and now I truly can relate to myself. And I think the whole thing started with music, of where I realized that there was a lot of people making music that talked about spiritual things, and it was like they just went and looked at a book. And I think there's a way that people do that now, not maybe with a lot of stuff, not just spiritual stuff. Like, oh, here's a bunch of cool stuff. Let's just like make these lyrics and make these song titles, and they weren't living the life. And so I think that that's what it's coming to now. For me, like my music in a way has gone a little bit on the back burner as I've been pursuing this Vipassana lifestyle. And doing a lot of yoga and trying to make my body eternal. And do things that I don't think anybody's done. I think I mentioned in my last video, I've seen a lot of raw vegans that have a youthful look or some kind of look that's not the normal. You know, I'm closer to 60 now than I am 50. I'm 56 and a half. And I just want to keep pushing the edge with that childlike, fanatical energy of like all possibilities, and getting more into music and just doing things and really throwing away ageism. I've been hanging out with some young people, and I'm kind of at odds with somebody that I love very much because of stuff that has to do with ageism. Like, I don't know, I'm around some other people that are 35 and they're like, oh, people are 18 are fucked, and it's just like, I can't get on board with that. Like, everybody has all their possibilities. I mean, I do say that most people over 35 are like kind of already dead, like they should just kill themselves. I mean, that's not totally true, but you should never give up. I mean, you should just keep pushing forward and being excited about changing yourself. And this is a whole era to do that now. I'm more excited about music, the things I'm doing with music, and I'm going to be getting back into music because for like a couple years now, just everything's been on the back burner where I legitimately get into this thing that kills us, which is the mind. And I'm practicing Vipassana as not just a person who's gone to a couple 10-day courses, but I'm now a devotee where I meditate 1 hour twice a day. And I have to, because this mental thing will kill you, and then you can't do anything, and then it owns the whole thing. In the tarot deck, there is the rods, which is the spirit, there's the cups, which is the emotional, there's the pentacles, which is physical, and the swords, which is mental. And So the mental starts getting so big that it overtakes the cake. It eats everything. You have no other aspects of your life. And Buddhism is really the practicing of Buddhism, which is always meditation. There are a lot of people that intellectually practice Buddhism, which for the place I'm coming from, they're not practicing at all. Because it's all about the meditation of just sitting quiet, doing Kaypacha, which is just sitting there for an hour, scanning your body, or doing Anapana, which is just paying attention to the breath going in and out of your nose, or both. And then all of a sudden, you let go of all that self-created crap, stuff that maybe you created in this life, stuff that maybe you drug in from a past life. I'm excited about stuff. It's going to be a challenging year with all the politics and stuff like that, but I was listening to Feel Good, and I just want to end out with this of just that, this life is a step, or maybe 2 steps if you're doing a lot in a marathon. It's the soul life. And we chose to come here, and in the spirit world, there's no past, present, or future. And we created all of this, and we knew that when we come in here, we would come in with amnesia and really not know who we are. We created all this, everything that we're doing. So we're going to, when we come up to some very difficult thing, you just got to realize, I created this for myself to learn something from it. So I have to put a lot of effort into decoding this, because I set this up so that I could learn. So that when I go back into the spiritual life, I'm going to acquire this experience that's going to make me a more powerful entity. So we're headed into the future. In 7 days, it's 2020, 1 week from today. And it was 10 years ago last May that I started this blog on YouTube, and it's kind of always been the same, about the same stuff. I'm a raw vegan. Learning new stuff, pushing the edge. When you push the edge, it's not really goals and stuff, it's just lifestyle, and then you start learning new things. Like, I'm definitely heading in the direction of breatharian. After I came back from Thailand, I was talking a lot about that, with it as a goal. It's not necessarily a goal, it's just that I'm eating a lot of liquidarian, eating these really thick soups I make in the Vitamix, and not eating so much, and just, the whole sensual pleasures and all that kind of stuff. I'm finding myself, I never ever thought I'd see the day that I eat bland food. I used to spend a lot of money at Mountain Rose Herbs on organic spices and cumin and stuff, and I just made a cauliflower soup where I just cut up a bunch of cauliflower and put some celery in there, and a whole Meyer lemon with the peel, and some ginger, and equal parts ginger and garlic, which always cancel each other out. And it's like, I'm getting so sensitive. It was too garlicky for me. And it's just, my food's all about flavor, and I'm just going into a place where it's just like, oh man, all my friends that love what a great cook I am, I'll still cook for them, but I'm not going to eat. I'm just going to keep moving in this direction, doing what I'm doing, and of just coming to some kind of realization where I'm more of a spiritual being in a human body that's doing amazing things, and maybe healing people, levitating, learning to teach people how to love themselves and love other people, and love that we've all put ourselves here, that it's not just some crazy shitty place, some accident in the middle of this big void box of black nothingness where we're just a bunch of garbage, because we're all God. And a part of this is just that are becoming new stuff and amazing stuff. So this is my Christmas message. Love yourself, love everyone. Really push the boundaries with those people that you're having a hard time loving. I've come across quite a few things in the last few days of where I was in tears on Friday over somebody I love and some bad choices that they're making. And try to see something that you got to learn in adversity. And really work on it. Don't just throw it away. Don't just like go and smoke a joint and just work on it. Figure it out. Figure out how to love everybody. So I'm hoping I'm going to be making some more music. I'm going to get some Christmas money from my family. Going to buy some new gear. Start working on music some more. Bringing this spiritualness in that I am. Making more authentic art. That's real spiritual art. And so you can check out all my music on my Bandcamp. Some old stuff from the 90s. Some newer stuff. A record that I'm the most proud of. More stories about refracted light. Links in the drop down. And a whole biography on me. You can message me if you want some consultations. I've had a few clients lately with just helping cure the impossible or spiritual advice or whatever you want. Pretty easy to find me under my own old screen name, Live Rockstar, on Instagram or Facebook. My name is Keith McGrew. And I got a new email. I'll put it down there. Alright, peace out. I love you. Bright blessings. Namaste. Endless love. To free myself from all misery, negativity, ill will, animosity. I want to develop love, goodwill, peace, and harmony. May all beings, visible and invisible, in all dimensions, all possibilities, all timelines, all multiverses, be peaceful, be happy, be liberated. And may all those people that are peaceful and happy and liberated, may they inspire other people to be peaceful and happy and liberated. All of my friends, none is my enemy. May all share my merit, my peace, my harmony, my dharma. Peace out. It's Keith. Bye.